Thank you. These earrings are in honor of not being in Trinidad because it was raining today. It was raining in Trinidad. My friends keep sending me videos and I love watching them having so much fun. I really do. I'm like that Taraji P. Henson gif. Just like, my bitch just filming my babies. My babies. Like, I love seeing my friends have a good time. But I also love the fact that they miss me. I mean, like, who wouldn't, right? Smudges on glasses is one of the top 3 biggest annoyances on the planet. What are your other 2 then? What would be my top 3? Top 3 biggest annoyances on the planet. The education of female reproductive health, just in general, for like children, teenagers, adults, men, women, non-binary, doesn't matter. Yeah, smudges on my glasses. And what would be, I feel like I'm forgetting something that I probably get upset about all the time. Oh, great. Jason's just going to make us all look bad with world poverty and racism. You're probably one of those kids that asked for, like, world peace. You asked Santa for world peace, didn't you? I hated those kids. My grade school teacher would always, like, look over it and be like, you didn't add about world peace. No, I didn't. Because I don't want world peace at Christmas time. At Christmas time, I want the Barbie camper that pulls off and has a detached Jeep. That's what I wanted. Good Lord. So many people tuned in. I see my ex-husband. What's going on? So, you guys know the topic tonight. I mean, it's the first Sunday for the men. So, topic tonight is spitting versus swallowing. Apparently, this is a big deal. Hey, Jackie. Apparently, this is a big deal. I didn't even know spitting versus swallowing. I didn't know that was a big deal. Men, this is a big deal? Like, you're not getting women who are swallowing? Because I always see it in movies. That's what I would say. I always see it in movies. Meh, I guess. Why do you... That sounds like I could care less either way. That's what that answer sounds like. But yeah, I only saw it in movies of like them making comedic jokes about a woman not swallowing. But okay, so you said I don't care either way. Okay, so doesn't really bother you. James, he says, as long as she sucks it, I'm good. Okay. I've had equal number of women who loved and enjoyed swallowing versus women who didn't. I actually, ladies, what do you guys think? Like, most women I know, they may not talk about it, but they'll swallow. Mine has and hasn't. Okay. Not that big for me, but most of the women I've dealt with have been swallowers. Yeah, I think most. Unless we get surprised by some... Every time I think about this subject, I'm show my age, but before there was Girls, there was Sex in the City, because unfortunately most of our black shows weren't allowed to go that pushing the envelope. But there's an episode where character Samantha is like, I'm dating a guy with the funkiest tasting spunk. I just remember thinking, I get you. I get you, sister. Completely understand what you're talking about. Okay. Mine hasn't. Not that big for me, but most of the women I've dealt with have been swallowers. Jackie says, I will. He's chicken. Jackie, I don't know why that just killed. Oh my God. A lot of women that don't usually have said they don't like the taste or the texture. I personally don't care because I'm not a fan of receiving head. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. Phantom. Not being a fan of receiving head. But You're right about the taste and texture. My whole thing is, once I realized that like your diet and even just drinking water changes the taste of it, like that is so simple. It is the most simple thing to get a girl to go from the I want nothing to do with it to asking to do it. Because I know a lot of girls that actually like giving head. Yeah, I'm using my thumb in my first. Giving head and swallowing. Like when I think about it, the conversations I've had with like women I used to know, women that I know now, a lot of them, yeah, a lot of them do. Whatever the woman enjoys, I'll enjoy it more. It's like an extra boost of sexual enjoyment. That was Vashcon. Jason says, my thing, if you're not going to swallow, just let me know ahead of time so I can plan to shoot it somewhere else. Ah. And James, you said facts. Yeah, that makes sense. I never really thought about that before. I think I've spit once, and that's because, yeah, it tasted like the devil himself was trying to rape my tongue. Like it tasted like it should have had a warning sign on it, and it would be underneath my mom's sink, and she'd be like, don't touch that. That's what it tasted like. So, but other than that, I've swallowed. So, but I never really thought about the fact that, yeah, I could just tell you that I'm not the type that swallows. And then you don't even have to worry about spitting because you would just come somewhere else. I never thought about it. Thank you for that one, Jason. You get with a dude that drinks and smokes all the time and the woman is like, ugh. Really? I did not. Is it? Really? Really? Ooh, diabetes too. I didn't even think about that. So basically medications can affect the taste as well. Oh, Christine says she loves it sprayed on her breasts. I'll swallow when the mood strikes me, but it's not common. That's another thing, how often it happens. Because not a lot of guys, like Phantom said, not a fan of getting head. And there's many guys that don't come from getting head. So for them, yeah, you probably would rather, and even a lot of people using the pull-out method, like, let's just be honest, a lot of people do it. But if you're using the pull-out method, you're usually going to come anywhere on her. I'm talking to women, I guess it changes the taste. Oh, I didn't think about that, medications. The only, like, to think of, like, relationship-wise, both relationships that male relationships that I've been in, like, and I'm counting, like, the two major ones, yeah, they were, like, really good to their bodies, so drinking water was not a problem. I mean, so I never had a problem with taste. But I also feel like, and ladies, you can let me know, I feel like we kind of already knew that it's not going to taste like Lindt chocolate. It's not going to taste like boneless curry chicken roti. Like, it's not going to taste like one of your favorite things. So we already knew going in, you know, it is what it is. They don't call it a job for nothing. So my twin, Sharon, said, I like swallowing and facials. Okay, I want to come back to that. Because remember, we've had a conversation before about facials. And most girls are like, facials as long as you avoid eyes, hair. Where else, ladies? Just any, like, orifice kind of thing. Not up the nose, obviously. But I could care less. I mean, I probably have to wash my hair that day anyway, so it doesn't bother me. Okay. I don't come often from head. You really got to get me mentally gone with that good. That good head. Yeah, a lot of But what is it? What is it that mentally, because some of y'all, I feel like it's not that you can't come from head, it's that you don't want to. That's some of y'all. That's what I feel. I love that. See, Christine's like, I love it. And I already knew my twin, Sharon loves giving head. Ashton said, I love getting head when a woman enjoys giving it. If there's not passion behind it, we can just skip it. Vashka, even like, I'll watch porn sometimes and you'll see girls giving head and I'm like, why even bother? Like, why bother? Especially nowadays when porn is like wrestling, we know. So as people really want to see that you're enjoying it, they want to see that the woman's enjoying it. So why are you doing something you don't like? You don't even like it. Ugh. Taste is a factor too. If the pre comes bitter, nope, no swallow. But do you let him know? And fellas, would you want to know? How do you approach that? Because I'm not good at being subtle. Like I'm horrible at it. And so I don't even know how I would, like, how do I tell you? Do I tell you that it's rancid? Do I tell you, like, I feel like bleach and rat poison had a baby and that is what's coming out of you? Like, what do I tell you? It's not that I wouldn't want to come from head, but I haven't ever enjoyed it. Phantom, I get that because we've had that conversation. So for you, it's just, it's not enjoyable. And I get that. It's actually similar to me of women who feel like, you know, you can play with my clit, but that's not the way that I get off. I get an orgasm from penetration. And I used to be like that. Or like the only way I could orgasm was penetration. So guys would be going down and playing with my clit. And I was like, can we wrap it up? Let's go. Like it didn't do anything for me. So I understand that. But I just wondered for other men, there are men that like, they're about to come and they'll like stop you or throw off the rhythm. So Jackie said, with my husband, it's a mental block because the one time he did before me, she freaked out even though he warned her. See, that's another thing. Women, I don't know where we got this idea, but I feel like we were taught that men are able to let us know just because they're saying like, I'm gonna come. But when you really think about that, no man says I'm gonna come milliseconds before he does. Like there's still usually a good couple grunts, thrusts, whatever that comes right after that. So I'm sorry, he has no fucking aim. He doesn't. Most men don't even have aim when you guys are peeing. So you think he's gonna have aim with something that he can't even control? At least urine you can control. He can't control it. He did not mean to get it in your ear, on your hair. Like, the reason he's laughing is because he's like, oh shit, I didn't realize that would happen. It's not a calculated, like, yes, I've been planning this for 6 months to get this on her hair. Like, it's not, he's not doing it on purpose. So that brought it up when you said that, Jackie, like, she freaked out. And even that episode on Insecure, they touched on that a bit. Like, Issa freaked out when, what's his face? I can't remember his name. But when he came and Molly had to be like, bitch, what's the problem? Like, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Okay, so Vashkan said, the past few experiences, the women have gotten off from getting head and swallowing. So, of course, I'm going to let them continue. Yeah, because you're seeing her pleasure at doing it. And so it's getting you into it. Sapio used to just tell me. Mine has told me it's bitter. Okay. But that's a little, see, with you, it's like, married and any sort of long-term relationship. But I'm thinking like, what about like a person that you have sex with maybe once or twice every couple months? Like, how do you tell them? Yes, please tell me so I can change that ASAP. Is it just, you guys just want it straightforward, like, your sperm tastes bitter? You should probably up your water intake. Is that that's the only, when you feel it, pull mouth up and just take a facial. I love giving head. I'm passionate about it. My thing is that there's no point in doing it if you don't enjoy it. makes me wet. That's what Christine said, and I completely understand that. It's like the give and take just of any sort of sexual act that you have. The more that the person who's doing it loves it, the more you love it, the more they love it. Like, it's just a give and take. It's no different when you're sour at times. Sapio, that is a good point. I would want to know, but I'm usually so anal about scent, sweat, anything down there that I've never been told that. Has anyone been told that? If there's any women that want to admit to that. Have you ever been told that? And how do you... I don't know how I would want to be told. Good Lord. Sorry, I was thinking about that for a second. Men can aim the nut. Twin, only to a certain point, because you have to think about it this way. Even if you aim something, it could shoot out really strongly, or it could just come out like and drop right there. Meanwhile, you had it straight aimed for a certain point. So no, you still can't, like, there's parts of it that you can't control. They don't know the trajectory. They don't know that, oh yeah, every single time I come will be exactly one shot glass full of cum. Like, it can't be predicted. It can't. So yeah, he may try to aim here and get it here. It's not on purpose. And I see so many women who get upset about it. And I'm like, bitch, you fucking. Like, Trinidadians have a saying, you can't play mass on frayed powder. Basically, you can't put on a costume and then be upset about, like, your body or the sun or you put on the costume. You chose this. So my thing is, you chose to fuck this person. There's going to be some bodily fluids that are going to get everywhere. It's gonna happen. Bitch, if you don't want it in your hair, wrap it up, put a shower cap on, and get to doing. Like, but stop the 2019, we need to stop the complaining about, like, y'all need to learn how to aim. Like, that's like someone saying to you, like, pee right on that spot. Right there. Pee right on my eye. But don't get it on my ear. I can't do that. I know I can't. Woo! Okay. Sorry, y'all. So, yeah. Most of the men are like, just tell me if it's bitter. Sapio was like, because I would tell you the same, and I would, like, respect that. I know, yes, with women, like, our cycle will change the taste of it, and any woman who has some sort of, like, period app on their phone, you see, like, you can track your discharge and exactly how it is. But yeah, definitely the taste of it change, like, to the point where you can pretty much figure out exactly, like, what stage you're in if you forget when your period's supposed to come. Pretty much. Okay, Twin makes a good comment. So Twin said she's never had anyone say that she was sour. Yeah, and like Sapio said, when we squirt, we can't aim that. Like, and sometimes, like, I've squirted and it shot through the air. I've squirted and it just sort of trickled like a babbling brook. Like, you really can't control that. So no, I'm sorry. Where's Thingsland brother isn't here, but I call bullshit on that one. Like, men they can't aim it. And if you find a man that can aim it, tell him to go see his doctor, because I'm scared. So Twin said, I don't like a man who is quiet when I'm giving head. Men, why are y'all quiet? What is it that makes you feel, oh, hey, Shamela and Leo, what is it that has you guys thinking that we don't want to hear you? Especially black men. Like, what makes y'all think we don't want to hear you? Like, besides the, you know, give it to me and da-da-da. I mean, like, your pleasure, the grunts, the groans, even if your voice suddenly goes high-pitched, like, those things. Jason said he's not quiet. Have you always been vocal? Would you feel like your entire sort of sexual history, you've been vocal? How about you, James? Always? Yeah, see, Twin agrees. I just wonder where it comes from. I know in porn, yes, we don't hear the men as often, but that's because porn is really geared towards men, so they focus on the woman and her sounds. But yeah, I just wonder where it comes from that black men feel like they shouldn't be making noise. Okay, so Jason said he thinks it started when he got more comfortable with himself sexually. Okay. Is when, so kind of, that's funny because it's very similar to women. Most women will say like their first sexual experiences were very quiet. And eventually when you start to get more comfortable in yourself and realize you don't give a fuck, like you just want to be in the moment and experiencing the pleasure, then yeah, you get comfortable sexually and you're more vocal. Sapio, that's interesting. Moaning wasn't manly. Moaning isn't considered manly. That's funny to me. I'm gonna ask Phantom a question. So Phantom, do you think moaning is not considered manly, being a West Indian man? Just because I feel like West Indian men, that's not a thing, but I don't know if that's me because I'm saying it as a West Indian woman looking on outside in. And you said some men feel emasculated when it comes to making noise. Sapio says he moans all the time now. And Christine also agreed. I hate it when a man's quiet in bed. I want to hear your pleasure. I've earned it. I love that. Yes, I've earned it. In the same way, y'all, like your ego goes up. I tell people all the time, women, we have an ego. We do. And the sooner we call it that than people thinking like we're petty or I can't believe she think that, she's a bitch, whatever. We have egos. We love to know that what we're doing is pleasing this person that's in bed with us. Vashkan says, shit, I'm not quiet, but my vocal experiences have been based on how much more confident I've become. Okay. Some men aren't comfortable, says Phantom. James said with both head, I went 10 years not getting it. So hell yeah, I'm loud with moans and very vocal. People said I would hear women growing up talking about they man moaning like a bitch. Oh, okay. Extra Melon and Leo, you say Caribbean men are too conservative. It's interesting. We're going to have a conversation next week about that, the stereotypes that Caribbean men deal with. But yeah, I'm used to hearing them moan like in reggae songs, in soca songs, when we're whining, like you'll hear a man be like, oh, good. Ah. So I'm used to hearing that just in like our culture, that I'm used to hearing that in the bedroom as well. So the fact that moaning would be considered not manly or that women were complaining about it, that's sad. That is so sad. Because, goddamn, oh my God, hearing a man moan and you know, like, you're the one making him moan. Oh my God. And those grunts or oh my gosh. So yeah, Christine, twin, same. Like, I love it. I need to hear it. I hate when a man's quiet because I don't know what's happening. Like, are you enjoying it? Are you alive? Are you having an asthma attack? I've had an asthma attack. You can't talk. So what's happening? What's going on? I really don't want you to die because I've seen so many like comedic sketches about people dying during sex, but I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to be that girl. Okay? Thank you. So just talk. Jackie said huge egos. Jackie, was huge egos about West Indian men? Don't make me have to stick up for okay, so Phantom said, as a West Indian man, I have no issues with making noise, and a lot of men are comfortable enough to moan, but to most they get clowned for it, so they grow with the stigma that they shouldn't be moaning. But see, I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Quiet is a very weird mood killer. James, I agree with you. I feel like Cream said I moan when I eat pussy because they sound like bitches. Yeah, I feel like quiet is weird. No, but women, we have huge egos. Yeah, Jackie, you're right. As women, we have huge egos. It's just, we do. But we tend to associate ego with being masculine, and then so only men can have it. No, we have it. I mean, it's the reason you will like buy something and parade in front of your man just to hear him say that you look good in it. Like, yeah, thank you. I mean, I know I do, but I want to hear it. So, yeah. Cream said you moan when you eat pussy. That's just like, everyone wants to hear that something's good. Even eating pussy, like, please don't be quiet. Who eats quietly when you... When my friend Cam makes cheesecake, oh my God. First of all, I'm eating slow. And then secondly, I'm making all... oh my God. Jesus. Like, I'm literally like performing a one-woman show when I love what I'm eating. But then you gonna be between my legs like, no, because what's going on down there? You okay? Is everything all right? You want some water? Like, what's going on? Good Lord. Twin said, moan in my pussy. Okay, sorry. We're getting, I went off topic, but we're coming back to the men. So, because you sound like bitches, and I do understand because I had an ex who, his, what would you call it? I guess like the noise you make as you're coming. His voice would go up a little bit. Now, I didn't see the big deal with it, but he was like, oh, I sound like a high-pitched little bitch or something like that. And so he would, like, bite his lip, I think it was. Bite something. Just so he wouldn't do it. And I was like, you're... In that exact moment when you're supposed to be feeling nothing but pleasure, you feel like you have to control yourself because your body's doing a natural reaction. Like, it makes me sad for men because, yeah, as women, we're not, I mean, in a way you might be made fun of, but really it would be like some sketch just about a girl that, I don't know, sounds like a hyena or something like that. But women aren't really made fun of for the noises that they make because men want to hear us moan. It's just sad that men can't have that same courtesy. I'm scrolling through, guys, so it's probably a Western thing, especially growing up in the 90s. Everything made you gay. Sapio, that is, you know what? You do have a point. Yes. Because I'm just thinking, like, technically my teenage years were in my 90s. So, yeah, everything, that was the term that you were gay. You're right. Definitely a Western thing. That's okay. Here's another question. Since we're doing the, oh, thank you. Cream said I look beautiful. Since we're doing, like, spitting versus swallowing, and since this is, you know, March for the men, question, how many of you like moaning, like, on, like, while you're getting head? Is that like a to each his own, like each person? I feel like we never had a conversation about it. You know what I mean? Like, there was no general sex meeting of, like, you know, women, we now want you to moan on a dick. Unless it was, like, in a hip-hop song that I missed, maybe? That's the only thing I can think of. Because, yeah, the moaning. But, yeah, I feel like in answering the question, if you want a woman to swallow, just talk about it. You know what? I feel like that's the answer to almost every sex question. Just talk about it. Because if you asked her, she could tell you whether it was because y'all sperm bit her or because she doesn't like doing it. And just, I forgot who said it. It was either Sapio or Jason, I think. Like, if you don't like doing it, just tell me and I'll come somewhere else. Or maybe it was Vashko. But let me know. I moan when I masturbate. It heightens the mood in any situation. CPO, that is interesting. How many of you moan when you masturbate? The head's good. I'm not paying that much attention. That does make sense, Jason. If it's good, y'all, I don't care. That's like, guys, who's the, okay, who was I telling? It's like somebody, but who's the black porn star who like will be having sex and then ask her like how her day was while he's fucking her? Cream says I ask women prior to fucking what she's into, not into. Thank you. That's it. Like, I feel like by the time you're about to physically have relations with somebody, you should have already had conversations about what you guys like or don't like your limits or whatever. Phantom says they have a conversation. Christine says she has conversations. Phantom said, shit, I call on God when I bust a nut. Boy. Like, God. Fuck. Like, you would swear I'm being paid to say the word fuck. Like, it's just... Okay. Wesley Pipe, that's it. He talks so much. But like... it just kills me oh, man. Anyways, thank you. I just need to know that. But yeah, I call out. Christine, I think Rome is the other one. Like the one who's always like basically making love to the women. But I mean, they all do. That's one thing I do love about black male porn stars. Like, they be making love in the, like, they really be making love. It's a different experience. Jackie said fuck's my favorite word. Jackie, like, fuckity fuck to the fuck. The fuckity fuckity. Like, you think you're gonna incorporate something else, or you have like cutesy nicknames with somebody, or you're thinking, ooh, yeah, daddy and stuff like that, and then you get in the bedroom and it's just fuck. Like, it's, I don't know any other word. I don't. Fashion said Wesley Pipes is the GOAT. I'd be dying when he talks. I die, like, and that's the funny thing. When I was younger, watching porn with my like first love, it was us sort of like doing commentary, and it was like watching a movie. That's what it was like. So watching porn for me, I don't necessarily need it to have a storyline, but black people, we never disappoint. We don't disappoint on the internet. We don't disappoint on Twitter. We don't disappoint on Instagram. Like, we don't disappoint. And even in porn, I get, not only do I get off, but I get to smile. You know what I mean? You know what's going to happen. Honestly, if a woman looks me in the eyes when she gives head, I don't care what she does when I come. Okay, Fashka, I'm so glad you said that. Y'all I love this because you're bringing up stuff that I actually do want to talk about. So, looking in the eyes. Okay, I am not, I'll tell y'all, I think I mentioned this in the trauma episode, but it took a very long time for me to get comfortable staring into somebody's eyes during sex, any sexual act. And so I don't do it often. But it seems to be that the thing now, and when I say the thing now, I just mean in 2019, we'll say, is that you gotta look somebody dead in the eye. Like, whether he's going down on you or she's going down on you, or you're going down on him, like, we now need to look each other in the eye. How many men, out of all the men, how many of you like it? You can even just put an emoji if you don't want to type hell yeah or whatever, but how many of y'all love having direct eye contact when you are getting head? Phantom said, fuck, shit, goddamn, I say all that shit, right? Like, although I will say this, I mean, I always advocate for this, but there's something to be said about a black man and, like, you're doing something he loves, whether it's sucking his dick or whatever, and you just hear like a whispered goddamn, like a god, like he didn't want to let it out, and then it slowly seeps out, you know, like, my, I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment. Lucy, hey! Lucy said most men I know love eye contact when getting head. Okay. Oh. And then right underneath, James says, nope, I only want eye contact when I'm giving. Interesting. Vashcon said, honestly, he loves it. That was burned before. And then it doesn't have to be forever. Just enough to share that moment of both of us enjoying it. Okay. I'll let out a low growl and then suck in air. See, it's just, sometimes it's just those, for me, I love those quiet, random moments. I love being loud, obviously, but So Lucy says it's the ultimate turn on for me, the eye contact. So for the women now, how many of you like having eye contact? Whether that's giving head, receiving, oral, like, how many of you like it? For myself, when I'm giving head, if I know that you like eye contact, I'll give eye contact. It's just, some men shouldn't give eye contact. It just, have y'all ever sucked the dick of someone who, like, not necessarily cross-eyed, but just one lazy eye? It's, I'm not judging anyone with a lazy eye, I understand. But trying to give somebody head and give him eye contact, and you don't know where he's looking, and then he thinks you gag on the dick, but really you just try not to laugh because you were like, like, so I feel like some people just shouldn't give eye contact. The way I get around that, ladies, if you ever, there's so many, this is how you know, like, I wasn't shit. I've had sex with so many people that I was, like, not attracted to, that I came up with stuff. So if you ever are with somebody, you don't want to be giving them eye contact because literally you're in your head like, I am shamed to be fucking in there, right? If you ever have that moment, blindfolds. That's what you bring in, blindfolds. You're like, ooh, like, I am so sorry, but I love being blindfolded when I'm having sex. It's a lot easier because, girl, with no blindfold, you will accidentally crack open an eye and you will see what's above you and you will make a face. You will scare yourself. You'll scare him. And then you'll have to flip over and get back shots because you definitely can't look at his face. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying this actually happened. It sure did, though. It sure did happen. The eye contact is like a silent submission. Ooh, Lucy, you know what? That is true. There's times, but I feel like there has to be like a magic to it. It's very rare, but when you get that rare look of like, you look at him, he looks at you, and in that moment, both of you know, one, like, I'm in control, and two, like, you're loving this. Like, nothing about this is about like, oh, I'm in control, but it's not negative power. Do you know what I mean? I feel sometimes that in the Black community, we feel like, oh, well, she has the control, so now she's going to hold it over me or do something to me. And that's why I feel like a lot of men don't come or push a girl off before they're going to come when giving head. And Phantom, I don't mean like any men that's in that case where they just don't like it. I'm not counting you guys, but I'm counting ones that I know who are enjoying it and then like try to push you off or stop you. So I would say for that, like, I just don't understand why you would stop yourself when sex should be with somebody that you know is not going to hold it over you. I mean, I would, so I understand people doing that with me because I would hold it over you. I am that person to wait like 2-3 weeks and then be like, Oh, you mean like when you give it all to me? That's what I would be doing. Okay. Um, so going back, something about looking a woman in her eyes and saying her name and how good she is at sucking dick. Oh my God. Saying my name and telling me how good I'm doing. And Sapio, yes, when I was in a relationship, actually, my partner made me do that. That anytime we'd come, wanted to look into each other's eyes. And I was like, this is not, it didn't do it for me, but I understood it did it for her. So, but it was, oh God, look at his one good eye and wave in the direction of his other one. Vashcom, the thing is, like, with lazy eyes, they move on you. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're there. They're nosy. Phantom said I don't really mind eye contact when I'm receiving. Most times my eyes are closed anyways, but when I'm giving, I like eye contact. Okay. So you like to have eye contact when you're giving. See? And I'm not trying to look down. I think also for me, in the position that I usually am in when getting head, any eye contact will involve me passing my stomach, and I don't want to see it. I don't. Lucy said, it's with the one man that knows what it's doing for both of you. It's almost that what's not said is always understood type of thing. Yes, exactly. I feel like it is that person that just, y'all already sort of know each other. Or even if it's like somebody you've just met, it's well into having had sex several times that you have that groove and that vibe. I said groove, guys, not groove, groove. And that vibe that, you know, you have the eye contact and it's just like, yeah, like I got him. But like got him in like a I'm pleasing him and he's loving it type of way. Jason said sometimes they stop because they know they won't be able to go again. Okay, I want to come back to that. So, and you said that's the type of vocal you are. I'll tell you how good of a job you're doing and how much I appreciate you. James said, yeah, I had a woman drop a box off in my mailbox. A note said, here's your soul back. Christine said, tell me that you like what I'm doing. That encourages me and it makes me want to do more. Exactly. If you don't, I've had guys that didn't make any noise and I've literally been like, okay, what's going on? Like, what do you like? Because if I'm not doing what you like, tell me what you like. I'm not gonna, after I realize that, you know what, sex at the end of the day, how good you are at sex is relative. Especially since, I'm sorry ladies, we know it. We spend most of our lives, especially when we have low self-esteem, lying to men in the bedroom. So most of them don't even have like a proper barometer of how good they are, because most of the women in the survey should be disqualified. Like that's just how it is. So I feel like if we're not honest, why do we expect we expect so much, just as much as we want them to tell us how good we're doing, because I love hearing it. I also need to tell them how good they're doing or how good they're not doing. And that's not staying silent, by the way, ladies. Staying silent does not work. All y'all know that. We all know it. I mean, think of it like the dude that you don't want to talk to no more, so you think, okay, I'm just gonna not answer his phone calls. Does he stop calling after one time? No. And yes, I know, fellas, you also deal with this too. That person doesn't stop calling after that one time. So, speak up. Say something. Hold up cute cards. Y'all should get like the like and not like from Instagram and just hold those up. Babe, I like this. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. Yeah. It's a vibe. Hey, it's a vibe, Lucy. It's a vibe. Vashcon said, sex can be really more incredible if everyone adopts the Lenka. Let a nigga know act and have conversations. I like that. The let a nigga know act. That's pretty much it. Like, just let a nigga know. That's all it is. So what about when you're in missionary? Missionary Cream, are you saying like in terms of, I'm wondering if were you here for the conversation about seeing my stomach? Because I'm gonna see it in any position. Like, sure. Twin said yes. That's what I mean by the silence while giving head. It makes me think it's not good. Yeah, I feel like I think that's what it is, because women collectively, we've all decided that staying silent is the way that we are going to show that we don't like what you're doing. And I don't say all women do this, because most, once we've like sort of come into our own and started to enjoy sex and our own pleasure, most of those women, they will tell you like, what are you doing? What is that? What is that? Ow! That hurt. Like they'll say something, but the ones that don't, they think I was quiet, so he has to have known that I didn't like that. So in the flip side, when you guys are quiet, we feel like he does not like what I'm doing and I don't know what to do right now. And the more I'm doing this, the more I realize he doesn't like what I'm doing. And I think I'm tearing up because like most women are going to go into that spiral phase. And Lucy and I actually were talking about this earlier, that women normally blame themselves. Just, I don't necessarily know about men, because I mean, you guys don't get the chance to talk the way women can. But when it comes to a bad sexual experience, women normally blame themselves. If it comes to you guys not feeling pleasure, if it comes to you coming too quickly, like even the best, not the best, but even a woman who seems like she's very hard, it is thinking like, but what did I do that he's not coming? Like, what did I do? And yeah, we're normally gonna blame ourselves. So if we don't hear stuff, if we don't hear anything from you, we're thinking, God, I am really bad at this. Really bad. Sapio said, silence turns us both off. We will literally sup and ask what's wrong. Like, ooh, Jason, same thing. So if a woman's not enjoying it with you, you get in your head mentally. Like, that's really what it is. Women just, we're all in here. Like, what did I do wrong? What's going on with him? Is everything okay? He told me everything was okay. Like, it's just, and I'm sure you think it too. Like, oh, great, she doesn't like this, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I feel like sex isn't about, oh, I'm sucking your dick and you don't like it, so that means I'm bad at it. It just means I'm not doing what you like. Like if you went to a cupcake place because I want cupcakes right now, if you went there and they didn't have the one you want, they don't just shut down. They're not like, okay, well, we're the worst cupcake place in the world, so we're gonna close shop. Cookunks. Do 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 do. Like, no. They still open. Just get that flavor cupcake. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that's what women and some men need to think as well. I'm sorry, I say some men because some of y'all, not the ones in this conversation, because most of the regulars are just amazing guys. I love you all. But most men, their ego's a little too big about what they can do in the bedroom, because by the time we get there, I'm like, this is not, excuse me, I would like to speak to a manager. That, but then all of this is not what I signed up for. When I signed on to do this 4 hours ago, it was not this. It's definitely not this. I would like to speak to a manager. I either want a complete refund, or if you can put it back on a gift card, that's fine. But no. But yeah, so Vashon said, I'm always trying to feed into the positive and encouraging feedback so a woman can stay turned on. Jason says, I'm in my head 98% of the time though. And Jason, I get that. Like, I am too, but I think that's why I want my experience to be pleasurable, because that's that one moment that I'm not thinking about anybody but my body feeling this pleasure. And then the second thing right after that is the partner's pleasure, like, because it's just gonna make mine even better. If we don't have a really strong connection, I sort of go in the interaction in my head. Sapio said you need to talk and tell us what you need. I agree, but I think it also goes both ways. And guys, when I say it goes both ways, I mean like in the same way you would want a woman to be like, okay, I don't know, I love it when you lick that instead, or but you don't want to hear a girl go, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, I don't like that. Ow. Don't do that. Like, y'all need to talk as well. And you can say stuff in a nice way. And I say that to both, not just men. Women, you can say stuff in a nice way. Some of us are really mean. Cream said, ask questions before and after, and even when she comes, the learning and understanding of your partner still continues. Agreed. That is very true. Lucy says, too, she's always in her head. So, yeah, I am, too. That's why I'm like, that's why it, like, even with sex, I feel like, it sucks that you can't just shut off your brain during sex. Like, that would just make things so much easier. Just shut it off for a little bit, or put it on standby. Ooh, put it on standby. That'll make life so much easier. And then I could just fully be in the pleasure. But yeah, that's why I usually try to focus so much on it. Because, guys, have them sign a sex survey. How was your experience? Jackie says direction. Give proper direction. If there's something you don't like, don't just push me off. If there's something you don't like, don't just push me off. And also, if there's some, okay, in the spitting versus swallowing. And I know most men, if you've been in a long-term relationship, Sapio, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. This may not apply, but if you really like something, you really want your girl to do something, like maybe she doesn't give you head as much as you want her to on that consistent basis. Don't push it. Don't, like, one of the best things you could do is not push it. Because almost every woman that I know, reverse psychology works. Well, not necessarily reverse psychology, but the idea that sometimes the best way to get something is to let somebody think that they want to give it to you. Like, simple as that. I'm looking at comments on the screen. That's why I just paused for a second. But Lucy said, I think those that are pleasers are the ones that are always in their heads. We're always trying to make the moment better than the last. Very true, Lucy. And we're always thinking, okay, is he, like, are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying this? Are you enjoying this? Is he enjoying? Okay. No, it seems like he is enjoying this. But that moment, you know, that moment where, I don't know what it is. I feel like with a woman, it just clicks at a certain point, whether it's like a thrust or a bite or a grunt by your ear. But there's a moment where you just stop thinking, like, because all you can think is just, me and this person feel so fucking good together. Like, there's just that moment. And you're like, like, no one can tell me what I was thinking in that moment. In the same way that Wesley Pipes will try to have conversations, I'm just like, don't ask me anything. I remember there was a show, I don't remember what show it was, but a sitcom where, like, a guy, maybe it was Sex and the City, actually. Yeah. Where the guy agreed to something while he was coming, and she tried to hold him to it, and he's like, I was coming. I would have agreed to anything. I'm like, exactly. I've agreed to anything. Yeah, I agree because I'm a pleaser. That's Phantom said that he agrees with Lucy because he's a pleaser. Dashkan also said he's a pleaser. Jason had mentioned it from before too. Christine, I can tell you are just from how you were talking about giving head. But she says, I'm a pleaser. That helps me make those moments better. It helps me focus. And Jason says, true. When that energy connection is there, it can be amazing and seriously addictive. Great word. It is definitely just addictive. And that's... See, if someone had told me when I was younger that sex can be addictive, that you can make extremely poor decisions based off of a person's sexual energy, like the connection you guys have when you fuck. It would have made it easier to understand why men go for crazy women. Like it would have made it easier. Cause I didn't get it before. I was like, the bitch crazy. Like she actually tried to kill you. Why are you having sex with her again? Like it just. But I get it now. I get it now. See, like Jackie said, Jackie, exactly. I live for that moment because it gets me out of my head. Get me out of my head. That's what I want. I want the person I'm with to get me out of my head, and I hope that what I'm doing is getting you out of your head. And the best way for us to know that? Moaning, groaning, letting, what did you say, Vashkon, was like letting air out like a hiss. Just, ugh. Vashkon, I love that you said that because that's one thing I love about when I was younger. I was obsessed with vampires. And it's that Blade vampire effect. When that moment happens, you need more of it. Like the moment they say that, what did they call it? I think it's bloodlust. That the minute a vampire tastes like true human blood, like that's it. You can't go back. And I mean, that's for anybody. Like the first time I had cheesecake, because yes, I want cheesecake. You think somebody's gonna tell you don't have cheesecake again? You crazy. You ready to get me some cheesecake? Get me some cheesecake, anime. Hey, Lord. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You just want it more. So I get it now. Before I thought, we're taught like sex is so. Jackie, I want cheesecake. I told you, girl. And my friend that makes amazing cheesecake, she's in Trinidad. And so I'm missing her. I'm missing her cheesecake. Jason, that's a good. Jason says the first time I spanked a woman and she came was my bloodlust. What was everybody's? That's because you brought it up, and thank you. What was everybody's bloodlust moment? What was that moment at any time in your life? Kareem, I'm missing Carnival. Like I will actually start tearing up, so I'm not going to, because if any of my friends are in the background like trolling, they will laugh at me. But like Carnival is my soul. Like yeah, so I am missing it. But yeah, everyone's moment, it doesn't matter what age or whatever, you don't have to give any details, but that thing that you were like, oh shit, this is gonna happen all the time. So Jason said it was spanking woman and she came. Lucy says the choke stroke. The first time I got choked, and the thing is, I think it's even more hilarious that this happens to black women, because most black women and most of the women in this chat are the type that can fight back and will fight back, right? So just the fact that you got to a point to be able to put hands on this neck, and that split second where the black woman goes, what the fuck? And then you get that and it hits you, and then you're like, shit, how do I ask this nigga to choke me again when I told him, if you ever choke me, nigga, I'll kill you? Like, how do I go back? How do I go back? Like, because I told him, if you put your hands on me, I will kill you. And then he did it accidentally. Like, maybe he was moving in the bed and he just, the hands just, and you're like, what the like, how do I tell him my daddy ain't gonna kill him? Because I told him before that if he put his hands on me, my daddy's coming for him. Like, it's just, how do I do that? How do I do that? Okay, so who else said there? Okay, so Phantom said, wait, I don't want to skip everybody's bloodlust moment from me ranting about shit that's in my head. Stress or really think. Okay, so Sabio said, man, look, they've been stressed or really thinking about something and can't get hard. My wife will stop and be like, stop thinking and slow things down till I'm mentally there. See, and that's the beauty of like being with somebody that knows you and can get right away. Because I mean, anyone who's been in a long-term relationship knows that you can usually tell when your partner is upset about something, when something's troubling them. So I definitely get that. Phantom said, my first bloodlust moment was when I was giving a lady head and she started to run and I had to pin her down. Thought it was a one-time thing till it happened 4 times back to back. See, you just bragging. Like, you think I don't know. You fucking bragging now, okay? You bragging. Lucy said, wet my entire bed up. Right, girl? Whew. Child, things are gonna get wetter. Okay. Phantom said, in with different women. So it was like different women across the board, all of them trying to run from it. I was going to say something really rude, but I'm not going to. I won't. Vashkon, that first full, deep, long stroke, and a woman dug her nails in my back and whispered my name. Oh, whew, I was there. I was like, I saw everything. Ooh, Cream said when she's riding and holding on tight, yo, when you almost forget that, like, there's a person underneath you and, like, you could be hurting them because you're ooh. Like, I'm just thinking of it. Like, that is true, Cream. That is a good one. Jason said, or the first time I gave her the slow stroke on my tiptoes and she squirted. Lord. Oh, damn. First time I made a woman squirt on my face, mouth, hair, like I was soaked. Sapio, I could see how you'd be like, yeah, I ain't going back. That is my bloodlust moment. She'll say the first real time was when I ate pussy for the first time and she came. Ooh. That's when you're like, okay, Vashkon, is that a bloodlust moment? Like, is that a moment where you're like, okay, now I need to make her come every time? Or was that like I'm the shit, yo. Like, I'd be in the club like, I'm the shit, you know, I'm the shit. Yeah, I'm super fit. Like, I'd be going off. So, but you say it's your bloodlust moment. I am rude, Phantom, I am. Because I was about to say, how you know what? Because you say that. See what you start? Now you start this. How you know you're good? Maybe they was running because they don't like it. How you know they wasn't trying to get away from you? I hope in 20 years it'll come out, all these women talking about they try to run from you and you hold them down and make them come. Because I'm not standing up for you. I'm not Bill Cosby wife. I'm not standing up for you. I'm just telling you that no. Alright. Get back to the conversation. You started, you know, you didn't have to say nothing. You didn't have to type nothing. And I would not say nothing. Anyways. Vashkon said, yes, it's a true bloodlust moment. I need to make women come as much as possible. Trying to collect her soul like a Pokemon. Okay. All right, then. Phantom said, because they called me back. It's true. If they called you back. Yo, doesn't it? Ladies, doesn't it burn you when, like, you didn't expect it to be so good and then it is and you're like, I don't want to have to call him, but, like, I guess I have to now. God damn it. Ugh, I hate you. Or maybe that's just me. Christine said, my bloodlust moment was the first time I came while sucking dick. I couldn't breathe because his dick was further in my throat than ever before, and I didn't care because Viola was grasping at nothing. That is so, like, it's evil and it's beautiful all at the same time. Jackie said, my bloodlust moment is being pinned down because I'm a runner. Ooh. I like being pinned down too. I get that. I definitely get that. And it's like the first time it happens and you realize how much you love it and like how hard you come, you're like, oh, I am never going back. Never. Jason said, my last girlfriend used to have full body shaking orgasms from being choked. I'm thinking because I'm like, for me, that's anal. I will have body shaking orgasms. Yes, from anal. From being choked, not necessarily body shaking, but like sort of like this like mellow, I can feel colors type of orgasm if I'm being choked, and I love it. We are talking about your bloodlust moment, that moment that either you received something sexually or gave something sexually, whatever it is, and you were just like, no, this needs to happen all the time. So a lot of the, like Vashkon said, making a woman come from eating her pussy, like he was like, nah, now I need to make them come all the time. I'm trying to think what my bloodlust moment was. You know what? I know what my bloodlust moment was. Finger in my ass. Yep. That was my blood. I was like, what the fuck are you? Oh my God. Oh my God, I love, like my voice dropped like, I don't even know how many octaves. I thought I was a man. He thought I was a man. I thought I was a man. I was just like, he's like, what nigga you just brought into the bedroom? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, my bloodlust moment would definitely have to be finger in my ass, because Lucy said body shaking for her too. Like, it's Sapio, your second was when a woman cried from orgasms. So you, because remember, bloodlust is like, okay, once it happened, I want it to happen all the time now. So you want us crying? Why do you want us crying, Sapio? Why? That's so mean. Jason said, not gonna lie, I was fucking raw and she told me to come inside her. See, it's so taboo because it's like, obviously 2019, we want to practice what we preach, which is safe sex. And then I would think most of us come from that era of like, safe sex was a big deal. People were dying from AIDS, and at one point we didn't even know how they were contracting it, and we assumed it was just the homosexual community. So we come from that fearful era, or era of fear, I should say, that I feel like most of us probably go a little, what's the word, like we maybe a little bit too far in terms of taking care of ourselves. But I love fucking raw. I don't do it often, but I love it. It's just, oh my God. Cream, yes, I do. Asking if I love a tongue in my ass, I do. Twin, you just have to pick your first one, basically. Let's see. As long as she's on birth control and we both get tested prior to fucking. Yeah, but not everybody, let's be honest. We don't, in the same way, we'll be honest that most do the pull-out method. Most of us don't get tested with everybody that we're having sex with. Oh, she was an older woman with a hysterectomy. I get that. Hysterectomy, menopause. James said too many to count. Yeah, I think my bloodlust moment was that finger in my ass. I was like, now I need this to happen all the time. The first time so Twin said the first time I had my pussy eaten, you were just like, okay, no, this needs to be put on the menu all the time. All the time. Jason said, stay away from me, you demon. Oh my gosh. It just... And the thing is, it's not even like you're saying come in me because you're trying to get him off. Like, that's literally what I want to feel. Like, I just want to feel... Ugh. Sapio said, because she says she never had a sexual that intense. So that's my list, to give women a sexual experience she never had before. Okay. She never had it, sorry. So, because she said she never had a sexual experience that intense. So that's what you aim for. Your bloodlust is, I'm gonna make you have that experience you've never had before. Twin said he was 27 and I was 19. It's crazy. Do y'all ever think back to like the men that especially as Black women, the men that we talked to when we were younger versus that same age talking to your daughter, niece, sister, whatever that is that age? Because I think about that and I'm like, God damn. Because twin, just like you, I was like 19 talking to 27, 28-year-olds, 29. And you know, being younger, I was like, well, yeah, I'm with a guy who's mentally on my level that I can have conversations with. But if my like 19-year-old, if my niece was 19 years old talking to a 28-year-old, I'd be like, what the fuck? My nigga, you gonna die. You gonna die. Like, what do you... I always think about that. I'm like, so I really shouldn't have been talking to a 28-year-old. And my mom really did try to tell me that. But you know how much all of us listen to our mothers, men and women alike. So James said, fucking outside during the daytime. Once you did that, you were like, oh, this is going to happen. You know what? You just reminded me of something, James, in saying that. Also, the first time I was comfortable enough to have sex with the lights on, or just with like some light as opposed to pitch darkness, I was like, why did I ever stay in the dark? Because everything in the dark eventually comes to light. Like, that's it. Now I need light. And I don't like candlelight. I know most people do, but I don't like candlelight. Candlelight just makes me want to go to sleep. That's it. I don't feel sexy because I still can't see in candlelight. So, like, y'all see I wear glasses. I wear glasses. I don't have to wear them all the time because my prescription is not that strong. But I can't see in candlelight. So, and I get the reason for it, especially if it's used, like, even one of my partners, she wasn't comfortable with her body. She had scars on her body that she didn't like. And so she loved candlelight because I can't see shit. Can't see shit in candlelight. So Jackie said, you know where the fun is, I see, to James saying that he fucks outside in the daytime. And Twin agreed about the older men. James said, so very true. Having a teenage daughter changed how I think now. I was hooked public sex. I'm addicted to public sex. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to do that because it was probably really loud. But, okay. How many men, here's a question, because you said public sex. Have y'all seen, like, the, getting your dick sucked? I said seen, like, some of you may not have had it happen, but getting your dick sucked while driving. Why is it a thing? Like, that is literally the definition of an accident waiting to happen. I get I understand that it can fall into the category of thrill seeking, but there's other ways to seek thrills that I just don't understand. And like James said and Lucy said, if it falls into the category of public sex, it's the public. There's so many ways to have public sex. And like Lucy said, she's just been recently introduced to it and she effing loves it. Like, thank you, Jason. I need to concentrate and I need to live. I just feel like it invites so many things that as Black people we should not be doing. Like driving recklessly, inviting the police into a situation that we really shouldn't be inviting police into. And then third and most importantly, especially with Black people, your mama gonna find out. Like, your family's gonna find out. Your family's gonna find out that you got arrested because you were having some lady suck your dick. Like, it's just, they don't let you forget that. They bring it up at the barbecue every year. You could get married like 15 years later with 3 kids and like your wife is like the new black astrophysicist of like the entire world, and they will still bring up that yo ass got arrested because you was getting your dick sucked while driving. Like, it just, they bring it up all the time. I just don't understand. I just, Sapio said, let me die. You know what's funny about that, Sapio? I'm just saying. Oh my God. Cream said, I was thinking about asking that same question, love. You have to be smart about it when you drive in. Hell, I get head while driving tonight, one-way road. Okay. James, you can still have a one-car accident. You know that, right? Like, you don't need another car to have an accident. You don't even need bad weather to have an accident. Like, no. Don't. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, unless you're in... Basically, treat it like teaching your child how to drive. Like, parking lot only. Parking lot only. Because at least if you, like, roll to a stop and, like, accidentally, like, nudge a tree, that's okay. But I ain't invited... First of all, I ain't inviting the police in to do nothing that will involve a black man being shot. So, no. I ain't giving you head. I'm thinking 5 steps ahead. 5 steps. That's what I'm doing. 5 steps ahead, because I ain't doing it. That is one thing. That would be my hard limit. My hard limit is I am not giving you head in a moving vehicle. Treat me like most medications. I do not operate in a moving vehicle, and I do not operate with heavy machinery. Like, it's not gonna happen. James said I pulled over after the first minute. See, it's like, just head in a car, cool. Not in a moving vehicle. And I made sure to specify it. I do not give head in a moving vehicle. Now, a vehicle is stationary. I sure would. How you have head in a plane, though. The plane was... He's not flying the plane. I would not be giving head to a pilot. Kareem, come on now. Head on a plane was a lot easier. That was a lot easier. It was more... Head in a plane is more about being caught by authority than us possibly crashing a car. And I'm sorry, my first thought, anytime I think that I might die in a situation, I think, what is my mother going to say at the funeral? Is she going to spend the entire funeral telling people that she doesn't understand how she raised this child and blah, 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 blah? Or am I going to give her something respectable? Something where I don't have to hear that. That's what I'm saying. I did give it on a plane. Cream, I know you're messing with me. I'm messing with you. Yeah, on a plane is a lot easier. He's not flying the plane. I didn't give head to a pilot. I just gave head to the person sitting next to me. I made that sound like it's a service. When you fly with Caribbean Airlines, you get our top and bottom best service. Like, they don't do that, guys. Don't quote me on that, because I need to use them to fly to Trinidad. So don't tell them I said that. That's just between me, you, and YouTube. But yeah, I did head on a plane, head on a train. As long as you're not conducting the machinery. As long as you're not conducting the machinery, you can always get head from me. Like, that should be my motto. That should be my motto. As long as you're not conducting the machinery, you can always get head from me. And as long as you are getting your water intake, you will get a swallow. You get more than a swallow. You'll get me... Yo, I will treat your semen like olive oil. Use it for everything. Use it for everything. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, milk daddy. Just saying. I will. Okay, wait. Spitting versus swallowing. Sorry, getting back to topic. Here's another thing. You know in porn when, I don't know what it would be called because it sounds disgusting to say regurgitate, but like showing the cum in her mouth. How many men? Because I feel like, at least for me, I thought it was just a porn thing. Cream said, I thought eating fruits and water was good for a man's nut. Honestly, the fruit thing is not... I don't understand why people came up with the fruit thing. And for me, at least, I thought it was because if anyone who's done anything with a diet, my mother was diagnosed with diabetes, and if you have to go to a nutritionist or anything with your diet, they tell you to cut back on fruit because it's very high in sugar. So why would that be? Like, I understand you think sugar is going to make it sweet, but that doesn't happen. So really, it's your water intake to get it at least to something that doesn't taste like anything. Because even for me, my certain points of my cycle, like my wetness, what would you call it? My wetness, like, doesn't taste like anything because I am constantly getting my water intake in. Constantly. All the time. All the time. But yeah, the fruits thing I never understood. I'm like, eating a whole bunch of watermelon is not gonna make you a watermelon. Even though when I was younger, my mother would tell me, you keep eating so much carrots, you got turn into a carrot, you know. But apparently that's not true. And once you realize that, Vashkon said consuming too much fruit makes it acidic as well. Drink more alkaline water. Jason said, I've never asked a woman to see my nut when it was in her mouth. James said fruit does the opposite, makes it worse because of the sugar. Yeah, see? So, and most people with diabetes or who've dealt with people with diabetes or, yeah, nutrition, I was like, why would, that makes no sense. Because my ex at the time said that too. He was like, oh, pineapple. I'm like, no, because my mother's doctor was telling her, like, cut back on the fruits, do not be eating so much fruit. And just different foods that break down and turn into sugar in your body. So those couldn't be the ones that you would eat, especially if they're telling you, like, don't eat, I'm trying to think, like chocolate, like something that we know has a lot of sugar in it. I mean, Cream, you should just be eating your veggies. You should just be eating them. Don't make me bring my mother on this show. No, really, because she would not be able to deal with this. But you should just be eating them. But really, I think the water, and as Vashkon said, the alkaline water is the best thing. Because I know guys who literally will drink their gallon. James says he downs 2 gallons of water a day. I know people that will do a gallon of water a day and still eat, like, McDonald's, wings, like, just very unhealthy stuff. And still their sperm tastes good. So, are we still saying tossing salads? Cream, I'm not judging you on it. It's just, that's usually what I'm used to. But I feel like, I know that it's, at least what I'm taught is that it's basically born, wait, no. I don't think it's born from that. Is it born from, like, jail culture? Am I allowed to say that? Jail vernacular? But I feel like now everyone will just say eating ass because it's more acceptable now to actually say it. Whereas before you were kind of, oh yeah, tossing salad. And if a person knew what you meant, then they, you know what I mean? But not everybody would always know. Cream said, I'm struggling with 1 gallon. Cream, the easiest thing for me, I hate water. Like, I hate it. I'm not even going to lie. I don't like it. But I did it bit by bit. Don't just, like, try to get 8 glasses in or a gallon in and be stressed that you haven't finished it and then think, oh, I got to start it again the next day. I was like, you know what? For 2 weeks, I'm going to drink at least 1 glass of water a day. And that was, to me, I was like, that's nothing. Just change one of the drinks that I normally drink to water. And then after those 2 weeks, I did 2 glasses. And after a while, you won't even realize that you're just sort of switching things out for that. Instead of drinking so much pop at my friend's house, I would have water and I'm just sipping on it. And sipping on it is, to me, was a lot easier too. A yoga instructor taught me that. Instead of just downing gallons of water, sipping the water. And then also because sometimes when you're hungry, that's a sign of dehydration. So I had a nutritionist that was like, you know, sometimes when you're feeling hungry, have a couple sips of water and see, am I still hungry? Like, am I still at the same intensity of hunger? Okay, then yes, I should go get something to eat. But if I'm not, I needed to drink and keep drinking that water. So yeah, I understand your struggle with trying to drink as much water as everyone's telling you to drink, but I would say just switch little things. And remember, your water can also be tea. I drink tea a lot, so um I'll just make my tea a little weaker than I normally would and not put, I don't use sugar because in trying to make my mom feel better about changing her diet to a diabetic diet, I also changed certain things, and agave syrup was suggested to her, so I use that in my tea. But yeah, that would count towards your water. So Lucy says, I've only swallowed one man's cum. He ate very healthy. Chicken and fish only, salads, fruits, nuts, and his cum had a pleasant taste. Yeah. See, it's like if you want to at least get rid of like the acidity, or if a woman is saying it's like bitter or sour, tart, or just that, I feel like water would be the easiest, most convenient like switch to that would be that would actually happen, because the fruit thing, no. But eating healthy is really what it is. So just like Lucy said, the person she was with ate very healthy, but that doesn't mean like, oh, just eat as long as I'm eating pineapple, it's going to change the taste, but I'm still having like Big Macs and stuff like that. No. And Lucy said, and of course he drank plenty of water, no sodas. And see, that's my thing, Kareem. I eventually, for me at least, I knew that I can get very addictive with food. So I was trying to build up to the point of cutting soda out completely. And so for me now, soda is like a treat that I'll have. Like if I order food, yes, I might have pop, but I try not to have it as much. And just have water. But it's build up to it, because going from, if you drink pop every day and you have coffee and you're sipping a can of Coke at work and all of that, trying to just cut that cold turkey, more power to you if you can, but I can't. Well, I can't. So I did it slowly, and I felt like, you know what, if it means, yes, in 6 months I'm going to get to the point where yes, now I can drink 8 glasses of water a day. At least I know that that's 6 months. I'm going to continue that for a while, because I've built up the habit of it, of slowly incorporating it, that it didn't feel so bad. But when you're switching right away, it's constantly a chore, and you've convinced your body that you hate it. You're just like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. So yeah. Oh, and you're taking notes, thanks. But yeah, it's really just healthy eating. Healthy eating. Healthy eating for a man, but for women it's a little different. But thank you, Twin. I did see that earlier. Sorry. So yeah, it was born from jail vernacular of tossing salads. And I feel like it was, you know, anytime Black people, I feel like anytime we've come up with like a certain term, it's because, yeah, we're hiding it. Whether we're hiding it from like society, whether we're hiding it, unfortunately, yes, sometimes from white people. We don't want them to know what we're talking about if something is innately part of Black culture. And sometimes even parents, we usually come up with terms. So I always felt like tossing salad was, besides it being a term that, yes, I knew was used in jail, it was also the fact that we didn't accept people doing that. It wasn't an acceptable thing. Cream said, I didn't even know that, tossing salad. Yeah. So I feel like now, though, because it's acceptable, because it's like no one's bothered about it anymore, right? So Black men especially, y'all have no problem telling us that. Yeah, I eat ass, and what? Like, it's not a big deal. I feel like when I was 17, 18, 19, so like early 2000s, you did not talk about that. I'm not saying you didn't do it, but you didn't talk about it. Cream, so you didn't know it was a jailhouse? Yeah, I guess because most black movies, sadly, will always have a joke about somebody in jail doing anal. Whether it's like some cousin that just came out of jail, whether they have a scene in jail, but there's always going to be some anal joke. And so I think for most of our 90s movies, that's 90s and early 2000s, that's what they would say, tossing salad. But yeah. You know what, Lucy? I'm like looking at what you wrote about eating healthy, and it's making me hungry. Thanks. So not only do I want cheesecake now I want actual real food. Thanks, Lucy. You already killed me with the foot. Y'all don't know this, but Lucy Liu has like the best snacks. Gets the best snacks, really. She really does. I feel like if I was ever like stinking rich, like Oprah rich, I would put her on a payroll so that her only job, she'd have to quit her job, obviously, but I would be paying her like double. And her only job would just be to get me snacks. That's it. And she can get herself snacks too, but it would be to get me snacks. I just have to put that in there, Lucy, because that's what I would do. Phantom said, as a West Indian dude, the same applies to eating pussy. A lot of men do it, but either don't talk about it or admit it. And that's what I want to talk about, especially next week. Because the majority of the people that I have slept with are West Indian, Caribbean. And every single Caribbean man that I have been with ate pussy. To the point where I don't necessarily know if it was true. This is what he told me. But before me, he'd never done it, and he wanted to try with me. And then the minute he did, he literally, holy shit, that nigga used to like beg for it. Like, it was actually annoying me. And I'm an asshole. That's why I say it was annoying me, because it should never annoy anybody that a man wants to go down. But yeah, so that's why, Cream, when you say about Caribbean men, I'm like, most Caribbean men, have they eaten your ass? A couple of them, but I also didn't like it at one point. So some may have started and I would have been like, what the, So I don't necessarily know if that was them saying that they like doing it, or if they lost their way and didn't have a map. But, yeah. Most of them have eaten my ass, yeah. Yeah. And they're Caribbean. We'd have all the new snacks like Baby D from Nick. Me and you, us never part. I love you. I love you, Lucy. Yeah, that's it. That's it. But yeah, Phantom, I agree. Next week about West Indian men and stereotypes. We're going to talk about that. And I understand where you guys get your stereotypes from, but it's like I partly want to get into it, but I don't. But all I have to say is, I won't say nothing. But yeah, Lucy is literally the best snack go-getter. It's just, But yeah, West Indian men, they do love eating pussy. But I will say this. Black American men, y'all talked about it more. Because it was a lot more acceptable, I feel like, even at, let's say, 25. I'm 25 in mid-2000s, I guess. And a West Indian man's not going to talk about it. He's going to be in the club. And when Beanie Man said, no, girl can't sit up on me head. If a girl tried that, she did. You have to run the party, red, 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 red. He'd be jamming to it, and his hand would be up and like they'd be like, try out another year if you never let no girls in the head. Blah, 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 blah. Like, he'd be going off, and I'd be laughing. I always laughed because I was always in the club with like some, God, I don't know why guys want to go party with me. Like, don't, if you dating me, I don't party with you. Anyways, but we'd be in the club and I'd be watching him and be like, but nigga, I just sat on your head. Like, I just did. Like, not 4 minutes ago. Like, it's just, but I recognize that as men, you guys already, there's a lot of subjects you're not allowed to talk about. You're not allowed to feel. So in the West Indian community, I recognize that we don't talk about it. And because reggae, I would say, is more popular, is more mainstream, sorry, out of all the Caribbean music, that yes, the message that Americans hear is that, you know, Jamaicans, reggae artists, you don't do this, you're a bad man if you do this, and if you do this, and one of those things is that I don't let no girl sit on my face. But I will also present the argument that one of my favorite songs from P.D. Pablo, he says it too, like, I'm not gonna go down on a girl. I'm gonna get another bitch. Because I ain't drunk enough to do that. Freak a lake. Like, I'm just saying. Am I supposed to judge that Americans don't go? Like, Americans say a lot of things in songs. If I was to judge everything on, like, the music, I would think a lot of crazy things. Fashcon, you said you got to get ready for bed. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is like, yeah, it's been about an hour and a half. This is usually around time that I'd be winding down. Seeing Cream, DJ Khaled said he don't eat pussy. I ain't go. But the thing is, isn't DJ Khaled like African or like Middle Eastern? So like, I wouldn't even judge it by American standards. I don't know. You said you're half Jamaican and you're half Haitian. You want to do a research paper on why that stereotype exists and why it's not accepted in the Caribbean. Cream, that's going to be the conversation next week, the stereotypes of it. I mean, we all know it's the same as the stereotypes of why black men can't cry, why black people, like, can't have a conversation about mental illness, is because we have certain gender norms that are based on, I mean, everything goes back to colonialism in my head. It's like the, you know, the family tree when you have like the matriarch at the top? Colonialism. All of our fucking problems. Like, it just trickles down. But yeah, it's a gender norm. For West Indian men, being a manly man, being masculine means being as straight as possible. Doesn't necessarily mean dressing as straight as possible, but it means straight would mean sleeping with women and not doing anything to make it seem like you would be homosexual. And I'm not saying American men don't deal with this as well, but I'm just saying, oh, he's Arabic. DJ Khaled's Arabic. Yeah, so I would have been like, oh, but I know Arabic men like to eat pussy, so he's just stupid. Okay, cool. That's how I did it. But yeah, so one of those things is going down on a woman. Anal is, and for both communities, West Indian and American, I feel like black men in general, anal is considered homosexual because that's what homosexuals do. They do anal. So I don't want to do anal. And yes, it's okay to give. I don't know how that became a loophole, but then that's also like the parallel of white Christian women who would have anal but still consider themselves virgins and that they didn't have sex. So I see the parallels, but it's based off of those gender norms. It's based off of so many fucking things, really. It really is. Like, but yeah, Jackie, Freak League was my song, man. Freak League. You like it, daddy? How you like? Oh my god, it's actually still in my. I think it's in my mood playlist on Spotify, but. Sorry guys, I'm coming back. Okay, so growing up, Sapio says oral sex in general was taboo, which is funny to me though, Sapio, because from the time, like, I had 3 uncles that lived in New York, and so from a young age, that was like the main place that we would go to when I would go to the States. It was New York or Buffalo, because Buffalo is like about 2 hours from us. So just going across the border, Buffalo. But going to see my uncles in New York and being at an age where I was like introduced to American black men in New York, and then going to see my uncle in the South in Houston and being introduced to black men there, I felt like you guys were very vocal about, I like to do this. And yeah, and I was like, wow, because Wesleyan men can't talk about it. They'll do it, but they don't talk about it. And I felt like you guys could. So it's interesting to hear that growing up, it was taboo. Kareem said, I feel like American hip hop culture changed from the 80s to present. Yes, it was taboo back then, but now we have some rappers talking about waking up and your breath smelling like pussy. They do talk about that. They do, but they also still talk about, like, don't touch my ass, don't put nothing near it. And I feel like in another 20 years, they're literally going to be in songs talking about giving and receiving anal. And it's not going to be a big deal. James said, the black man I was raised with said eating pussy was for married men and lesbians. So only married men can like pussy? Interesting. Okay. I mean, obviously I know you, so I know you're like, okay, I know now that's stupid. But it's interesting that that would have been the argument. Eating pussy is for either you're married or you're a lesbian. Do you think, James, though, that that person said it to deter you? You know, sometimes as parents, you tell your child something just to show you. Even with my nephew, like when they start asking certain questions, you're just like, well, the reason you can't touch the washing machine is that there's gnomes that live in it, and we want to allow them to have their space. So you're gonna have to be quiet. Oh, like we tell them stuff. So I'm just wondering if it was something like, I don't want you to do it. But then even that, I guess it still doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't he want you to eat pussy? Why? Cream said, just the thought of waking up and my breath tasting like pussy, it's a beautiful thing. See, this is the weird thing to me, because I feel like most black movies, I apologize because I don't really know if it was in white culture a lot, but that idea of this guy going to see a girl and like sniffing his finger. And even if, like, depending on the media, whether it was TV or video or whatever, even if that person was being made fun of, or if it was like, God damn, nigga, it's still something that people were doing for it to be put into our media. So to me, it felt like, okay, this is a normal thing because we see it on a consistent basis that people do this. Like, I had a guy do it and I was like, that's not, at least for me, it's not sexy, because I don't walk around with, I wash my hands afterwards, like, really well. Why do you want to what are you an unsub? Is this your trophy? I watched way too much Criminal Minds. My family actually had to have an intervention with me to stop me from watching it, because I was obsessed, but I was also terrified, out of my mind, couldn't sleep, had conspiracy theories for everything. Everything. House was making noise because people were breaking in. Someone was living in the attic. It was a lot. Lizzie said, oral sex is very much taboo growing up. Okay. So yeah, I know for women, Lucy, I will say this, for women, yes. Giving, like sucking dick was very taboo. You did not talk about it. And if you did do it, and like some man got upset and decided to ruin your reputation, or if you were the type of woman to talk about it, you were considered a slut. Hoe, slut, like basically like what's her face? Superhead. Like that. You were sort of just a joke to bring up. Like no one's gonna hire you off of knowing that you love head. And now it's like, where'd all these bitches come from? Like that's what it feels like. I was sitting here, I just didn't, and because maybe because of my culture, it was like, and I say culture, like meaning black culture, we're used to keeping certain things to ourselves. So it was like, yeah, I do suck dick. If you ask me, sure, yeah, I'm not gonna go up on stage and tell the entire world, but I know I do it. So we good. But now I'm like, where'd all these bitches come from? Before it was just like me and like a couple girls, you know, you reading your People magazine, you over there with the New Yorker. I don't understand it, but cool. We knew each other. All of a sudden the waiting room's full now and everybody loves sucking dick? Where were y'all before? Where were y'all? Cream, that's interesting. It's funny. If a woman doesn't suck dick, she's seen as boring as fuck. I agree. It's very much a stigma of like, if you don't suck dick and if you're not great at it, Lucy, she was my muse too, girl. And I remember when that book came out, I mean, I think I was still living at home, and I wanted it so badly, but I was like, how am I gonna get this book without my parents seeing it? Because you know, parents, y'all nosy as hell. Like, what is this? What you bring home here? What's this book, Superhead? What is this? Is it a cookbook? Right? Like, my dad used to accidentally open my mail. It was interesting. It was. The amount of people, I think, and the funny thing is the amount of people that were outraged by her telling her story. And I'm like, but it's okay if these men go around talking, because everyone knew about Superhead. Like, sorry, everybody in that industry knew about her. So it was okay if they went around talking about her, because obviously that's the word of mouth, you know, marketing that she got for her to get with all these people. But then for her to be like, so I'm gonna make money off of it and say exactly what it was. And yes, I will say snitching in terms of telling who it was, but like, I'm sorry, men be doing it for free on a regular basis. It really was client referral. That's what it was. But men have been doing it on a regular basis. I've watched entire women's lives crumble off of men being in their feelings and telling other men that a girl is a hoe or a slut. I actually almost had my reputation ruined that way because a friend was labeled a slut. And so I had guys that like would tell my friends, especially at university, so they would see my friends and be like, your girl's hanging out with that slut and other niggas are thinking she's a slut. You might want to tell her not to hang out with that girl. It's like, to this day, that girl still called a slut. And she's like, I think she's married. I think she is. She might be. With kids and like, but people still bring it up. People watch her walk past and will be like, yo, she used to be a hoe back in the day. It's like, they don't do that. They don't do that as much with men. They sure don't. My cousin was a roadie for the Locks. He gave her $800 for head. He said her mouth was diamond. That's the one thing I will say about Superhead. I don't remember there being any nigga that was like, oh, she was horrible. She's lying about her technique. She was never lying about her technique. Yeah, never lying about her technique. I know she was lying about her technique if they all knew to call her Superhead. So James said, I kind of understand their thinking because they only dealt with women that was dating someone else. So I took it as, I'm not eating her pussy and she fucking her man. I do get that. But I feel like it's across the board that men were judged for, or are judged probably still, for talking about certain things. I still don't think most of you guys can go to the barbecue and talk about eating ass. I'm not saying that you wouldn't. Like, I'm not questioning your character and saying you're the type of man that wouldn't talk about it. I mean having a conversation and it not being a big deal. That's what I mean. Cream said, that's sad. I support your past sluttish ways. The funny thing is, I wasn't a slut when it could have become an issue. Like, I was one in my 20s, so by then it's like, who's gonna call me a slut? Who's gonna call me a slut? The nigga with the dick around? No, you're not. Lucy said, I had a boy lie on me in middle school and said I sucked his dick all because I wouldn't be his girlfriend. See, I know. It's like my thing, twin. It's my thing with my other friend because she's the one that gave me the joke and it had me, I almost had an asthma attack laughing at that, man. Like how they took that. Black internet is just beautiful. How they took that and turned it. It was like, you still on your mama's insurance? To this day! And I'm corny. I will keep laughing at like the same joke over and over again. There's a joke that like, it used to piss me off that my ex knew from this movie. And I'm not going to tell you guys because I laugh every time it's said. So in the middle of arguments, he would say it and I would start laughing, but I'm mad. Ugh. Yeah. James said, I remember fighting a kid for saying my dad ate pussy because he had a full beard. See, and I didn't even know this was a thing till like maybe 10 years ago. So I would have been 26. Yeah, 10 years ago that the beard and the pussy juice, and I didn't even know that was a thing. Till 10 years ago. Sapia said those conversations are definitely between certain friends. See, yeah, like you would eventually realize, but you'd have to figure out which friends. Whereas women could be sitting in a group and one girl could literally just go, yeah, but don't y'all love eating ass? No? Like, and still be okay, because my friends and I have had conversations. Like, I know one friend who's like, I love cum, like I would rub it into my face like skin if I could, and me and her are like, yeah, girl. And another friend who was comfortable with it, but then our other friends were like, ew, I would never do that. Guys, you guys really do that? Like, what is it? And it's done. But with guys, y'all can't have that, oh yeah, I'll just say it and see what happens. Like, y'all might have like maybe the one guy who got drunk and was talking about eating ass, and then you sitting in the car with your boy and you like, and when that nigga talk about eating ass, goddamn. I mean, I do it, but I ain't gonna talk about. Like, y'all can't. I feel like when it comes to communication, in a like friendship environment, we have it. Women have it a lot easier. I truly believe that. And I'm not talking about making friends or anything like that. I mean being able to have the space to have conversations about stuff. It's a bit easier. Cream said that's why I love my kinky friends. They don't judge. Cream, I agree completely. My kinky friends are some of the most empathetic people I've ever met in my life. And maybe that's what it is. It's the same reason why, at least for me, why before I accepted the fact that I was a part of the LGBTQ community, I never judged them, because I felt like, how can I judge people when people judge me for being black? People judge me for being a woman. People judge me for being Caribbean. And then I'm going to turn around and show that hate to someone else? I can't. So I get it. Lucy said they gonna get quiet, and then they gonna be like looking at dude with the you eat ass face, right? And then, you know, at least one person's gonna be like, my nigga, was you the one to open my beer? Like, it'd be something. Like, it just, and he'll always be the nigga that ate. Like, you will always be that dude. So in the same way that a woman will always keep that reputation of, like, in your small town, that's the hoe, is the same way that a man will keep that reputation. So I understand most of y'all, if you're lucky, yes, it's like one or two true friends that you can have those conversations with. And even then, y'all don't, like, I know you guys talk, because I mostly grew up hanging out with men. Even in my teenage years, it was just chilling with guys. So yeah, it's when you guys do find the people that you can talk to about it, you guys can have some really great conversations and share things that don't make you feel as alone. And black men really need that. So Twin said, but how about a woman says she likes to eat ass? Honestly, I don't know. You guys can also sound off on it, other women, and Twin, you can say too. But my female friends, it would be the same thing. Like, they'd be like, oh, I don't do that. Okay. And we might make a joke about like, well, I'm not going to eat off your fork tonight. But I also make the joke, like, when I'm sharing food, if I have to give somebody something, I'm like, oh, you want my fork? Okay, and don't worry, I didn't suck dick today, I think. Like, I'll make that joke. But yeah, none of my friends, they're just more like, oh, I don't do that. And then we just go about our business. Now, granted, I don't know if they're having side conversations, because, I mean, everyone does that, but we usually don't. It doesn't stop us from, like, still changing in front of each other, still lying across each other, like, so we don't end up feeling uncomfortable, and it doesn't get, like, brought up. It's not like every barbecue is like, yeah, well, you do love eating ass, so they'd be, funny enough, if anyone had ever done that, my friends who don't would be the first to stick up for me. if anyone was bothered about it. They frown upon it when you say you have twin. Are these your like close friends though? Is this like your close knit friends? Because I know I have friends that like even I have friends that are not into the same sexual stuff that I'm into, but they don't mind hearing about it even if they're not into it. And they're gonna say that they're not into it, but I mean they love me, so they're not really judging me on it. So that's why I wonder, is it like really close friends or is it more like maybe slight acquaintances? James said, my friends don't care because do be like, I ate ass, and my boy be like, and so what, pass the blunt, right? Like, worry about other stuff. It's just I just feel like, especially with sex, when it comes to something like the further you go into a kink or a fetish, it's almost like the opposite of what you think. Like the further you go into anal, you will find the most like the cleanest people ever. The further you go into a kink that is so specific, you will find the sweetest, nicest people, even though you think that kink means like, oh, anger and rage and violence. Like, it's actually the sweetest people. It's like you kind of get like that yin yang balance. But yeah, I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you eat ass, it's probably cleaner than kissing some people's mouths. I'm just saying. Because some people kiss their dog, let the dog lick up all on their face, and your dog definitely licks his ass dirty. I'm just saying, your dog is all up in his balls, and his balls was just dragging across like the concrete down the driveway. That's nastier than eating ass, because trust and believe, I go ham cleaning my ass. I mean, just on a regular basis, but especially if I know there's going to be sex involved. I'm just saying. Jason said, okay, we get it. I'm sorry. I was just saying. Oh, man. Yeah, it's, since Jason said, okay, we get it, I just want to talk. I'm joking. That would have been petty as hell. Me sitting here just not talking. James said, learn that about foot fetish people. Yeah. Foot fetish people, they are insanely meticulous when it comes to their feet. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, I just bust off my shoe. Unless they have a specific like foot and scent fetish. Yes, but people have a foot fetish, like, and their feet are involved in it. Oh my God, they get massages regularly, toes done regularly. Like, it's, and sometimes that's the intro to it, because Jason said he is a foot fetish person. I think I don't know if I identify as one, more so because I don't really completely understand that, like, I feel like it's a spectrum. I feel like if it is a spectrum, then I am definitely on a foot fetish spectrum. And I feel like the first step into that was getting my feet done and knowing how much I love getting my feet done. Like, love getting my feet done. For me, it is more pampering than getting a massage or getting a manicure or like, ugh. It feels so amazing. It's it. So yeah, I feel like whenever you go into something very specific, you always end up meeting like, you think you're gonna meet, oh yeah, this guy loves to be whipped, so he's probably really tough or tough at work. And sometimes it could be the sweetest Clark Kent man that like takes care of his 90-year-old grandmother and is completely healthy. He just likes being whipped. That's just how it is. Samuel said, yes, this dom I knew was one of the sweetest, kindest women I've ever met. Yeah, because even when I told certain friends what I did, like doing mistress work, they were like, how? Like, you, Lucy, remember we were talking about it, like, you said your mom was a Gemini. Your your mom is a Gemini like me, and the one frustrating thing was her sticking up for herself. So I would have cousins that were like, you don't always stick up for yourself, but you're a mistress. And like, because technically being like that, I feel like that dom sub relationship is really about pleasure. It really is about pleasing that person. And so people who are mistresses, or just, sorry, anyone who's in that sexually dominant role, they love pleasing the person. They're doing it because they know that what they're doing is pleasing that person. People recently keep mistaking me for a dom. Jackie, how do they keep mistaking you for a dom? Oh my God, guys, this is now over 2 hours. I thank you all so much. I know some people had to log off, but it flies every single time. I always think I'm going to see at one point and go, oh, only 20 minutes have passed. But no, it is saying over 2 hours. It's just, but Jackie, even though it's over 2 hours, I still want to know, how are they recently mistaking you for, like, what are they saying is the reason that they think you're a dom? Girl, you gotta ask, because I want to, you know what, remind me next week. I want to know. I want to know. So guys, I'm not sure yet. I will keep you guys updated. Next week's episode might be early because I want Phantom in on the conversation, and Phantom, he was in a bit, but he's in the UK, so it might be. But next week's topic is definitely going to be about stereotypes. It's not just, I mean, I am going to focus on West Indian and Caribbean men, but I also want to hear about Black American men. I want to hear what your stereotypes were, because I realize even just in this conversation, this is the great thing about having it be about the men, is that there's lots of things I don't know and assumed were like easy, or assumed that's how it was going to be. So yeah, we'll talk about stereotypes next week. Sexual male stereotypes is next week's topic, and slight focus on my Caribbean men, because they've made their concerns known that yes, they're constantly being told that they are conservative and they don't do this and they don't do that, and we gonna talk about it. So Twin, you're right, it's always dope in here. I know Cream, you said it was dope, but Twin is a way of saying things that like is exactly how I'm thinking. Like, it's always dope on here, always. So yeah, I'm gonna be logging off, but thank you guys so much. It was so good. Next week's topic, stereotype. Male stereotype. Y'all already know by now that I'm always going to make up a song or be dancing or something. But yeah, bye y'all. Bye Lucy. Bye Lucy Lou. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Y'all are just, sometimes I just don't even want to log off. Bye, Twin. Bye, everybody. Jason, James, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Chris, Sapio, Jackie. Who did I miss? Kareem. No, I said you already. I did. And anybody in the back, I'm going to say bye. Christine probably logged off already, and I know Vashcon had logged off from before, but